we're here to talk about something that is incredibly important to every one of us: customers. Without them, we would not be in business. We need them to buy our goods and services, or there's no revenue, none of us have a job. Because they're so important, we rightly spend a lot of time thinking about them, wondering what can we do to get them to buy more from us and to buy more often. We also spend a great deal of time thinking about new customers. A lot of us define a new customer as someone who's never bought from us before, or at least not within the last few years. Some businesses define them as someone they've never touched, not from an email, not from a direct catalog in their mailbox. But however you define them, new customers are not infinite in number. In fact, eMarketer predicts that from 2013 to 2017, the growth of new customers coming online in the United States is going to slow to less than 2% annual growth. I hope this terrifies you, because it's really scary. We're accustomed to lots of new people learning about the internet space, and all of us focus in some way, if not entirely, on e-commerce. It's been relatively easy to show new customer numbers in our space. Those days are over. But the very good news for us is that new customers are not the only way to get new revenue. It's important for us to remember that the other 98% plus is out there. Our competitors are also trying to attract them, and we need to figure out how to get in front of them. Because it's not about new customers only. Absolutely, they're important. It's about new revenue. Now, before I go on and give you some more data to help you bring this perhaps controversial concept back to your business, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an account manager, a senior account manager at Commission Junction on our advertiser development team. I've been at CJ for almost 8 years. And in that time, I have worked with over 70 of you. It's hard to believe. In some way, on the strategy and the execution to grow your affiliate programs, your e-commerce business, profitably and sustainably. On a more personal note, in that time, I also bought my home, I got married, and I earned my master's degree, MBA. I also adopted my 4-legged family members. Moose is about a 100-pound German Shepherd and Lab mix. He came with the name, and you can see that it fits. His friend there is Dagny, regular old 10-pound cat. But perhaps most importantly, for what we're talking about today, I'm an avid consumer. I shop online a lot. I love loyalty cashback sites. I've racked up over $1,000 in rewards with them, and I'm still going. Now, I also like to shop at brick-and-mortar stores. I even like grocery shopping, at least sometimes. And I can tell you that I think of things as a consumer, not just as a marketer. So I'm here to give you both perspectives and examples of how you also need to be looking at your customers and thinking about them throughout this process. We have to remember that 2%, less than 2, is a very small piece of the pie. The other 98% plus still represents a lot of revenue opportunity. And I'm here to help you get out of the rut if you're still so focused on new customers that you're missing opportunities with all the rest of them. And even those of you who already agree with me, I hope there are at least a few of you, well, I'm going to give you data that you can bring back with you to help convince other people in your organization that this is really important, that we evolve with the evolution of our marketplace and with consumers so that we can beat our competition and continue to grow. Now, when we talk about customers, there's often a very closely intertwined discussion about loyalty. We would love to think that a customer will come to us once. New customer came in the door, we sold them something, and they are going to love us. Hopefully they do. It still does not mean that they're loyal in the way that we often use that term. They can go anywhere. We've tried to combat that a little bit, to set ourselves apart from our competition, with brand loyalty programs. They started back in the early 80s with airlines, American Airlines, the A Advantage program. And since then, they have become ubiquitous. 30 years of brand after brand after brand in just about every vertical with some kind of a loyalty program. And when I say brand loyalty program, it's a very important distinction between a loyalty publisher. A brand program is a one-to-one relationship. One brand, one program. Maybe there's a couple of different brands, they're sister brands, all in the same vertical, but that's about it. Still basically one-to-one. A publisher program is one-to-many. Those dots on the screen are running down on purpose because it's a practically infinite number. A publisher loyalty site reaches hundreds of merchants, puts them in front of that consumer who visits them, and lets them rack up rewards that are so much more tangible than with just one brand at a time. And they know a lot more about the customer as a result. Now let me talk to you a little bit more personal note about how a real consumer, me, interacts with brand loyalty programs. I have this mass of loyalty cards. This is not fake. I dug these up from drawers in my house. A few of them I actually carry. It's absurd. And this isn't even all of them. And on top of that, we have frequent flyer mile programs, hotel guest memberships, myriad online accounts that were basically set up for us every time we shop through any e-commerce site. These do not dictate where I buy, what I buy, or when I buy it. Not once has that happened to me. I swear it to you, on my coveted cashback earnings. They just don't do it for me. So why do we have them? Well, we'd like to think about loyalty. We want the customer to come back and see extra value in us. Sometimes people do use them. I know at least a few of you are thinking, Chrissy, I kind of get it, but I really love my frequent flyer program. I always go to this one airline whenever possible. I get these great perks, rewards, upgrades, specialties that no one else hears about. If you can do that, that is fantastic. I envy you for it, because the majority of us don't have that luxury. We have to go with the airline that goes where we want to fly, that has a decent schedule, and a fare that we can afford. Maybe not the lowest. We certainly aren't going to go just with the highest price because we are part of their loyalty program. A recent study by Deloitte showed that 72% of high-frequency business travelers, the focus of airline loyalty programs, belong to more than one. How is that loyal? And 83% of all travelers visit price comparison engines before they book their travel. Those loyalty programs and those most loyal customers that can take advantage of them might not even be making money for the airline that's running them, because they also experience a lot of diminishing returns, and they're giving away so much that they're no longer making money on some of those customers. These brands also have no idea how many other loyalty programs their customers belong to. They only see what they do when they use that frequent flyer program, swipe that card at the supermarket, enter the login online. They don't know what they don't know. They exist in a silo. If I take it back a step out of just travel, look at all of retail, a Wakefield research study showed that 49% of the customers who are already members of our brand loyalty programs don't even consider them, rarely or never, when they're shopping online. So nearly half of the people who are members of our brand loyalty programs today aren't even using them. Another example in my personal life, when I got married, I changed my name. Some people do it. Some people unchange their name if they get unmarried. Whatever the reason, you need to know that it is not easy to do. But what's really shocking is that it's harder to change your name in some loyalty programs, like a frequent flyer program, than on a mortgage or credit card. Things that affect your credit score and are tied to your social security number. It's easier to update your name than on AgAdvantage. Now, I travel enough, but I'm a member of all these programs. I can't even use all the miles before they expire. I don't actually think I've been able to redeem any. So I didn't bother to do that paperwork, jump through hoops. I just made a new account. So all these airlines think that I'm two people. Chrissy Catarat, Chrissy Quaderas, they just happen to have the same name, first name. Unless you've already had a few, you can see I'm just one person. Now, outside of that, there's a lot of merchants that use an email address as a unique customer identifier. Do any of you here do that? Do your businesses use email? It's okay if you don't want to admit it. I will tell you a secret that you may already know, that I may or may not admit to. For those of us who have more than one email, it's a lot of us, probably all. Some of us figure out that you can use just a different email address and get that new customer-only deal. Or you just might change your email address from time to time, or change the one that you use when you shop. So then, some of these brands think that we're 3, 4 different people, and we're still the same exact consumer that they think they have all this great data about. But this is where loyalty publishers in particular can really help us out. Because it's in the consumer's interest to maintain that one account that they're racking up all those rewards in, whatever it might be, whether they prefer cash, I like cash, whether it be points, some sort of a product that they can redeem for, virtual currency. Publishers deliver that. The consumer comes to them and asks for it. So they shop through that publisher, or a few different ones. And if you're not there, you're at an extreme disadvantage. Now let's take this especially for pets loyalty card. It's a local pet store in Massachusetts. And I went there one fateful day. We ran out of dog food. Moose doesn't like it when we run out of dog food. So I ran to the store, grabbed a 40-pound bag, checked out, crisis averted. In the process, I got this little card. Honestly, I'm not even sure what it does. It was free. I took it. Maybe it'll be worth something to me, maybe not. It helped me with this little demo. It just so happened that a few days later, literally that same week, I received an email from Ebates. It is no secret to them that I buy a lot of stuff for pets. Many an online pet store has contributed to my cashback earnings. So it makes sense that they'd send me this offer from wag.com, a 20% off coupon, 20%. Plus I got my Ebates cashback, and I learned that wag.com had free shipping, 2-day free shipping, even on 40-pound bags of dog food. They should be giving me something for this because that's pretty unheard of, and those of you who have pets might be thinking about going there. But wait. I used that offer, got my dog food, delivered to my door, no carrying a 40-pound bag in and out of the store to my car, up the stairs at home. It was great. But that offer was for new customers only. Lucky me, I was a new customer. Ebates turned me on to a brand I didn't even really know existed. But they don't have the best price without some kind of discount. It doesn't need to be 20%, but unless I have something to get me to shop there again and to show me that value, or if I really, really need that 2-day shipping, I can go elsewhere and get a better net price. Especially for pets, has the same problem. They aren't the lowest price around. I buy a lot of dog food. I pay attention to its prices. So this brings us to 2 really important things that we have to keep in mind when we're thinking about customers. The first is that the phrase, our customers, implies a very dangerous idea of ownership. We do not own our customers. They are free to shop wherever, whenever, and from whomever they want. And they are well aware of that fact. The other is that we have to be very, very careful what we wish for. We're out there running campaigns focusing our offers on new customers. We want new customers, new, new, new. Well, we might get them. Wag.com did a great job with the help of Ebates. But those customers might stay new. We got exactly what we wished for. They never become a returning customer. So this brings us to the question of the hour. What is going on inside consumers' minds when they're thinking about converting? It's actually quite simple. We all know Marketing 101, the fulfillment of a need, a desire, a want, something they're looking for. It might be very simple. They're thirsty, they're hungry, they need a new shirt. Might be a little bit higher level. They want to be excited about the purchase, feel good about it, get that rush of getting a great deal, something they can brag about later. Just ask JCPenney how that works. But this all boils down to something that's even easier to remember. What's in it for me? That's what they're thinking. Probably subconsciously, maybe they're saying it overtly to a poor salesperson who has to give them that answer. But if we can't answer that question, or if we can't do it as well as our competitors, if we can't be there to answer it because we just happen to not be at the point where they're ready to purchase, we lose. Now, we've tried to figure this out in a little bit more detail. We've made models, done a lot of research. There's a lot of organizations who look at these things and try to help us understand. CJ is one of them. Back in the day, we had the funnel. Now, how many of you attended Kate Bialke's session yesterday, Affiliate Fit? I know it was more, but all right. What did we learn about the funnel model? Funnels are for frat parties. This is not an accurate way to describe how consumers shop. Well, it might have been convenient at the time. It helped us put our marketing channels into neat little buckets. We had display at the top for awareness. Then we had search, we had content and price comparison even, in the familiarity and consideration phases. And then we had traditional affiliate channels at the bottom. They just helped us with that final conversion. This is downright wrong. There are other models. We talked quite a bit about the McKinsey & Company consumer decision journey. And this helps us understand a little bit better what's going on. We have that trigger point where that consideration begins. The customer then goes through active evaluation. This could take moments or months, depending on the type of purchase, how quickly they need it, perhaps even the dollar amount they have to spend. This is where the funnel falls apart, because McKinsey helps us understand that not only will that consumer narrow down the brands that they're looking at, but they may expand that consideration set. New brands have a chance to swoop in and might get that customer's attention, give them what they need. This is where some of you might remember from last year, a Subaru driver who's always had them, loves Subarus. There are a lot of loyal Subaru drivers out there. Might be looking for a new car, fairly certain she's about to buy another Subaru. And then when she really begins to do her research, look at the models that are out there, the reviews, really thinking about what's in it for her family and what they need, and end up buying a Mazda. This really does happen. We don't know how many times. We can't predict who it's going to be or when it's going to happen, but nothing is certain until the point of conversion. And then beyond that, the customer's evaluating how they felt about what they went through in that purchase decision, using the product. How did they like it? They're probably talking about it to their friends, their family, maybe making comments on social media. Bloggers are reviewing it. This is still important, and it can trigger that loyalty loop, the next purchase cycle. Does this help or hurt us the next time? But either way, we cannot ensure that loyalty exists. But again, publishers can help us here. We've talked about loyalty. Ebates created a trigger for me. How about coupon and deal? These publishers are not just there at the point of conversion, they can begin this cycle. Customers go to these sites, they trust them. They know there's lots of great deals, information about products in all different verticals, and they look on them for something that gets them excited about buying. They see the promo code box on our website. They know, they're not dumb. If they can get a code in there, they're going to save some money, otherwise they're leaving it on the table. So, a lot of us think, I'm not convinced. You really want that 20% off wag.com offer, and then when you don't get another one, you're not going back. But that's the point. Without a deal, I'm probably not coming back. The average household income of a coupon user online continues to be shown, study after study, the latest one from promotionalcodes.com, over $75,000. This is a demographic we care about. Another study, the annual NCH survey, showed that over 75% of people who shop online are influenced in which brand they go with by coupons. Do you really want to leave 3/4 of that demographic out there for your competitors just because you don't have a coupon for them? I have another example. I told you I shop online a lot. I was on Reebok.com and I found these sneakers. Loved them. Had to have them. Because we all need another pair of shoes. So I was bopped along, going through the checkout, and then I had that moment. My husband's voice in my head. You have sneakers. Why do you need to buy more right now? And I hesitated. But then, the promotional code box. If I can find a deal, then I'll have to get them now. So I head over to Retail Me Not. They didn't have anything that I could use with Reebok. But ShoeBuy had a 15% off coupon. ShoeBuy also sells Reebok. So I went over to ShoeBuy, I found the exact same pair of sneakers, and I also added a pair of sandals to get to that threshold of the coupon. I spent more than I was about to on Reebok, but I felt great about it. I got 2 new pairs of shoes, I got a deal, and when my husband looked at me and kind of rolled his eyes, I could say, but honey, it was a limited time offer. These things happen every day. I know I'm just one example. I don't represent every single customer that you will touch, but I'm not the only one, and there's all these other touch points that we have to get to if we want to reach consumers when and where and how they're ready to buy. We also have to remember that these models of consumer behavior, they're not a crystal ball. They can help us understand in a general way what's going on, but if they really could predict what a consumer was going to do before they even knew themselves, well, whoever figures that out, then they're going to figure out how to predict the stock market. If we knew that, we wouldn't even be here. Or we'd be visiting Baccara on vacation with our $200,000 car up in the parking lot. We would not be worried about new customers. So how about search publishers? Oldies but goodies. There's no longer a Wild West thing going on in the world of search. You can use affiliate really strategically to push your competitors out of the space and get more coverage for yourself. You have your own ad. Official site, you get that amount of coverage. That's all you can have, because search engines don't let you fill in that search engine result page with more than one paid ad at the same time. But if you add 3 publishers to a special set with unique permissions to work closely with you, you can quadruple your chances of getting that customer's attention. You also quadruple the message from 3 short lines to 6, 9, 12. You can now address different product categories, different types of customers, different promotional themes, and you don't even have to pay if they click on that ad. You only pay if you get a conversion. The publisher takes on that risk, and they know it's in their best interest to work with you within the terms that you've agreed to. You also have CJ behind you. Our network quality team, compliance, clear rules and regulations that make sure those agreements are upheld. Consumers have options, a lot of them. They know it. We do too, but sometimes we forget. We assume they're coming back to us. But even if they started off planning to come back to us or to come to us for the first time, there's so many things flying in their face. ComScore kind of supports the McKinsey model. They said, yeah, the funnel doesn't work anymore. It's more like a flight map. Customers see different ads, are touched by different media, online, radio, print, TV, social. We don't know when it's going to happen or how, but it's out there. And those options are constantly being presented to them. Our competitors are constantly trying to get that same consumer. They also have the option not to buy. Let's talk about software. It can be a little bit of a controversial subject, especially in affiliate. It's not only toolbars, it's add-ons, it's in-browser site comparisons, prices, and it's mobile applications. That's software too. And in all cases, the consumer who downloaded that piece of software was asking for a certain type of value that the creator of that software offered to them. So if we're not in that space and we let our competitors be there instead, we're giving them a competitive advantage on a silver platter. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can work with software. It's absolutely something that you should look at as part of your holistic, consumer-driven marketing strategy. But CJ and the publishers in the network give you the options to figure out how it makes the most sense for your business. You can go on a proactive click basis. You can have very specific terms with individual publishers. But figure out what makes sense for you, and don't just put it aside. Because software is not to be feared. It is another way to get in front of customers when and where and how they want to shop. And then how about content? These publishers are building amazing content. They speak to the hyper-focused interest of that consumer. But they can also have a pretty difficult time in affiliate, sometimes anyways, because they're not focused on optimizing their links. That's a distant second priority to that amazing, unique content. They're waiting for tools from you, for redirect-enabled linking, for a robust product catalog that's consistently updated and accurate. And CJ has tools to help you do this. We've recently developed Deep Link Generator, a new content certified program. We have this great, amazing widget system where publishers can build dynamic IAB ads with a collage or a product grid of one or many advertisers in our network. We have a feeds team that can help you figure out how can I make my product catalog better, more accessible, and help me build that base that's using it and earn more revenue. If you haven't had a chance yet, talk to the folks and go to the lab that work on these projects every day and get a real first-hand look at them and figure out how they can fit with your program. Now, we could go on all day about the ways that affiliate can help you get in front of your customers. New customers, customers that happen to have bought from you in the past, and get new sales. All of these things happen in active evaluation. Loyalty, coupon and deal, search, software, content, mobile. We also have unique, still emerging models. Domain recovery to stop hijackers and make sure the customers looking for your brand actually get to it and get the message you want them to receive. Cart abandonment on a pay-for-performance basis. to create or supplement your cart abandonment approach. There's so many options in relatively little time. So I just ask that you make sure that you really talk to these publishers, to your CJ team, look at what's out there, and consider how these programs, publisher models, can assist you in building your business. Again, profitably. It's a pay-for-performance model. You can test, you can try new things, and you're pretty much only forking over the cash after you got the conversion. You've offset the costs before you've spent it. Now, all these things we've talked about, they're a little bit scary. That less than 2% growth in new consumers coming online, the evolution of consumer empowerment. We have taught them to look for coupons, to seek out deals, to find a great cashback offer. That ship has sailed. We cannot undo that, but we can use it to our advantage. And the increase in competitive pressures. If we sell something that's interesting, we are not the only ones selling it. A lot of us sell the exact same product as our competitors. Some of us are basically competing against ourselves with resellers who are selling our products as well as the ones we have on our own site. And resellers can forget that they are not the only game in town. Everything on their site is also sold by someone else. We don't own our customers. But this knowledge, paying attention to it and using it to build a strategy, is an opportunity for all of us, especially those of you in this room who can now take this information and bring it back to your bosses when they say, hey, how was CJU? I saw these cool pictures of everybody having fun, drink in hand. Tell me why I sent you to this conference. What value did it give me? Well, you've got a great answer. I learned what is happening with consumers and that there is a very scary, very concerning trend. But that because we know about it, and hopefully our competitors haven't yet figured it out, we can get ahead of it. We can build a strategy that looks at getting in front of all customers. We still want those new customers? Absolutely. But there's all that other opportunity. We want new revenue. And I have this amazing program that can do all of this on a pay-for-performance basis. I can get you in front of loyalty shoppers. I can get you in front of people who really only will buy if there's a coupon. We can figure out new ways to address our business issues and do it with a built-in ROI. This is literally, I'm not exaggerating, making you a rock star. We went from the beginning of thinking about, gosh, no customers, no jobs. We can be a rock star. Just use this information. Be smart about it. Don't give up when someone in your organization says, customers, that's where it's at. And say, do you even really know if it's a new customer? And why isn't their next purchase equally valuable? I really appreciate you all joining me today. Thank you for your time. I hope you really do use this information to make an impact at your job.